So the front door further away from the garage, where does that lead you?
That's like a foyer area, and then if you take a right, it leads you to the dining room, kitchen, and then you keep going into the family room.
Now, if you don't take a right and go into the kitchen and the dining room and then sort of into the family room, you just sort of go straight, where does that lead you?
Well, you can't really go straight. If you walk in a little ways to the left, there's a set of stairs that go upstairs, and you can go straight a little bit, and then to your left again, there's stairs that go downstairs into the basement.
Now, in addition to you, your mother, your father, around the time of January 2022, did you have a pet as well?
Yeah, we had a dog, Chloe.
Well, a dog named Chloe?
Yes.
But how long at that point had you had Chloe?
We had her for a few years. I don't know exactly how many years, but a few years.
Now, on that night, specifically of January 28th leading into the 29th, did you do anything as far as letting Chloe out to use the bathroom or anything like that?
Yeah, So the dog was actually upstairs in my parents' bedroom. She likes to sleep up there and stay up there. So she was upstairs when my friends were downstairs. And at one point, after my dad came home, it was asked if someone let the dog out. And I said, sorry, I forgot. Because it was my responsibility, because I was the only one home. So he went upstairs to get the dog, got the dog, brought her downstairs, let her outside.
On that evening again, January 28th, or the early morning of January 29th, beyond the people that you've already talked about, and specifically John O'Keefe or Karen Reed, did either of them at any point in time come inside your house while you were there that evening?
No, never.
Nothing further.
I'm drinking stupid, what the fuck you think I'm swerving for? Look, I be with that nigga from New Orleans who be asking if you heard me, even though
I'm just gonna hold you up one minute. I think we probably need spelling. So
Yeah, we do.
probably broken hearted. I'm so
I don't know if I'm gonna be the best speller, but I'll try.
They ain't fucking with me. Bet they talking about murdering me. But look, Tone, I just don't see the killer in these niggas. Tupac's hologram was realer than these niggas. I'ma get this money, live my life.
You're welcome.
Alright, thank you.
Get this money, live my life and ball like I'm.
Mr. Albert, the first time you ever spoke with anyone from the Massachusetts State Police, the Canton Police Department, or the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office was on July 6, 2023. That's a full 18 months after Mr. O'Keefe's death, correct?
Yes.
Who was present for that interview?
I spoke with 2 troopers, I believe, and my lawyer.
Like I know magic.
Trooper Proctor was there?
Yes.
And this interview actually took place at your family's defense attorney's office,
With
correct?
the weed I did.
Objection, Your Honor.
The objection system.
This interview took place at your attorney's office, correct?
Yes.
Your sister Caitlin Albert was also present, correct?
She was there for some time, but she wasn't when I was interviewing. She wasn't in the room with me. No.
We the fuss, nigga.
I want to direct your attention to your testimony regarding your cousin, Colin Albert. You testified today that Colin Albert called you to come to the house, correct?
I believe so. He did. Yeah.
Do you recall some prior testimony in which you said that you all had exchanged Snapchats about what you were doing that night in the house?
No, I don't believe I said that. I said for him to know that I was at the house, he could have seen a Snapchat that I had sent, but he didn't ask me on Snapchat if he can come over. I said more of that he had could have seen a Snapchat saying that we were at my house. That's how he knew, because I didn't know how he knew that we were there.
You and your cousins frequently communicate on Snapchat, correct?
Occasionally here and there.
You actually have a cousin group chat on Snapchat, don't you?
Yeah, we do. An Albert cousin group chat.
Who else is on that Snapchat?
There's all my cousins, a lot of us, a good amount of my cousins.
Would that include you,
Yep.
Colin Albert,
Yep.
Allie McCabe?
No, she's not an Albert.
Do you have a group chat in which Allie McCabe is a member?
I believe we have a cousins on my mom's side group chat, yes. But she wouldn't be in that group chat with Colin, no.
Understood. And do you still have any of the messages you exchanged with your cousin, Colin Albert, on January 28th?
No, I'm not even sure if there was any messages. Not to my knowledge, I don't know.
Mr. Albert, you testified that Colin arrived around 10:45 or 11 p.m., correct?
Yes.
Who else was at the house when the clock struck sort of midnight as it became your birthday?
When it hit my birthday, it was just Colin, Julie, Nagel, and Sarah Levinson.
Was there any sort of celebration for your birthday?
Now
when the clock
blow.
struck midnight?
No.
You testified that your parents and Brian Higgins arrived shortly after midnight with your sister, correct?
Yeah, I believe I said around 12:05, 12:10 in that area.
Describe what happened when they came into the house that night.
They all just walked in the door, and at that point, my cousin Colin was standing up to leave. They passed each other, said hi, and that was it.
And as you were walking in, who, if anyone else, beyond your son and his two friends, was there?
And my nephew Colin.
That'd be Colin Albert, is that correct?
Yes, Chris and Julie's son Colin.
And when you walk in, where was Colin in relation to your son and the two girls that he was with?
He was just kind of standing in the kitchen with Brian and the two girls. Brian and the two girls were at the kitchen table, and Colin was just kind of standing there.
And from the time that you arrived home, how long was Colin at your house?
No more than 5 minutes.
And where did he go?
He left. He just said he was getting picked up.
We said he was getting picked up, and a few minutes later he left your house.
Yes, I went and used the bathroom. I came out and he was gone.
They all just walked in the door, and at that point, my cousin Colin was standing up to leave. They passed each other, said hi, and that was it.
And you can look up when your recollection is refreshed.
Okay, yep.
Does that refresh your recollection as to what you testified to
Sure, yes.
on May 18th, 2023?
Yes.
Isn't it true that you said that the second time you looked out, you saw that there was a black SUV that had pulled forward?
Yes.
But the truck was no longer there.
Sure, it seems like I said that then, yes.
You also testified earlier that you saw tire tracks in the snow, correct?
Yep.
Where were those tracks? You viewed those tracks kind of leading up towards the flagpole, correct?
Yes.
So you'd agree that the visibility and lighting in front of the house was good enough that you were able to see tire tracks in the snow, correct?
Sure.
But you did not see a 220-pound man lying in the snow in your front yard, did you?
Objection.
Is that something that you saw, sir?
No, I didn't see that.
Who was in the house the second time that you looked out the window?
My mom, my dad, Brian Higgins, my sister, Julie, Sarah, Uncle Matt.
You testified on May 18th, 2023 in another grand jury,
Mm-hmm.
and you said, quote, "I'm not sure if Brian Higgins was still there. I know he left at some point."
I know he left my house at some point. I just don't know exactly when it was.
You were asked specifically at the time that you looked out the window who was there, and you said, "I'm not sure if Brian Higgins was there."
Yeah.
Isn't that correct?
Okay, if I said that, yes, because I was not sure. I'm still not sure that if he was there or not.
So you're not sure whether Brian Higgins was there when you looked out the window, correct?
No. I'm not sure.
You have no independent recollection as you sit here today where Mr. Higgins was when you looked out the window, correct?
No.
You also didn't recall Mr. Higgins ever saying goodbye to you or your group, correct?
I believe that's true, yeah.
In fact, you actually testified before another grand jury on May 18th, 2023, that at some point Mr. Higgins just wasn't there anymore. I must have gone to the bathroom or something. I came back and I said, "Where did Higgins go?" And they said he left, correct?
Sure, yes.
You also testified before that grand jury.
Objection, Your Honor.
So, I'm going to see a Tyler, if you could bring that, please.
When did your father leave in relation to Brian Higgins?
Leave? You mean like go upstairs, go to bed, or?
Leave your view.
He would have left after Brian Higgins had gone.
Mr. Albert, isn't it true that you weren't quite so sure about that when you testified on May 18th, 2023?
I don't know. You would have to show me.
Do you have a specific recollection of your father leaving after Mr. Higgins was gone?
Yep, I'm pretty sure he went upstairs after Brian Higgins left.
Mr. Albert, may I approach your honor? Mr. Albert, isn't it true that you told the grand jury, I'm pretty sure Mr. Higgins left first before my dad went upstairs, because he wouldn't have left if his friend was still there?
Yes, I just said that here as well.
I mean, you don't have any specific recollection as you sit here today where your father was or where Mr. Higgins was when you looked out the window that night,
No.
correct?
No, that's not true. I know that my father was in the room with us. I'm saying I don't know when Brian Higgins left the house. And when Brian Higgins left the house, then my father went upstairs into his bedroom.
But what you actually said was, quote, I'm pretty sure Mr. Higgins left first before my dad went upstairs because he wouldn't have left if his friend was still there, correct?
I see what you're saying. Yes, but I still say that my dad wouldn't have went upstairs until Brian Higgins left the house.
Right, and that's based on an assumption, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Because you weren't interviewed about this case until 18 months later, correct?
Yeah.
You did not personally observe your father go upstairs, correct?
No, I did. I watched him go up the stairs. I was in the kitchen. You can see the stairs right there.
Your testimony is you can see individuals walk upstairs in your house?
Depending on,
Kitchen?
yes, the dining room, from the dining room I meant.
There's actually a wall that kind of blocks the dining room to the stairs, correct?
Not if you're sitting at the two chairs with your back to the windows. If I was sitting in the long chair right here, the stairs would be right here. I could easily see through the doorway.
But as you sit here today, you don't know what time that happened, correct?
No, I don't know the time, no.
Mr. Albert, I'd like to direct your attention to the morning of January 29th. Can you describe sort of how you woke up that morning?
My dad just knocked on my door, and I woke up and opened the door.
You didn't hear any dog barking?
No,
Didn't see any emergency vehicles?
no,
Didn't hear any ambulances?
no,
Didn't hear any screaming outside?
no.
What did you do once you woke up?
I went downstairs.
Did you ever look out the window?
I don't recall if I did or not.
Would it refresh your recollection to take a look at your grand jury testimony?
Sure.
Why didn't you look out the window that morning?
Well, I say here that I just would give me anxiety to look out the window.
Is there a reason that you didn't want to look outside?
I'm just an anxious person, and I got overwhelmed. I think most people would be overwhelmed in that situation.
Did you say that this was kind of a new thing for you, for cops and police to be at the house?
Yeah, that's never happened before. I've never had cops at or in my house.
And it made you overwhelmed, correct?
Yeah, I get overwhelmed easy, so.
Mr. Albert, how many times did you discuss this case with members of your family before you spoke to the Massachusetts State Police on May 18, 2023?
I don't know how many times.
Hundreds?
We talk about it pretty decent. I mean, considering, yeah.
What members of your family have you discussed this case with?
My parents, my sister, occasionally my aunt, JJ, and Uncle Matt.
Would you say it's been hundreds of conversations?
Well, I guess you can, you'd have to split it up and quantify what conversations were about the actual case and what conversations have been the harassment we've faced since then.
What, if any, type of harassment have you received?
All of these discussions took place with you and members of your family prior to your interview with the Massachusetts State Police, correct?
And no, we've talked since then.
You need to speak with them about this case
Not,
since your interview.
I don't know what you mean by this case. This case meaning the actual case at hand, or just the case about the harassment we faced?
People showing up at our house.
Talking about what happened on January 28th and January 29th.
But there's really nothing to talk about those specifics. No, because
People emailing my school.
we have nothing to say about
Just
that.
like
We
a
weren't
lot of-
part of it.
Harassment.
Robert, you looked out the window multiple times on January 29th, correct?
Twice, I think I said.
Moment.
You never heard any sort of commotion outside.
No,
You never heard screaming, yelling, or the screech of brakes in the front yard. You never saw a 220-pound man in dark clothes in the white snow on your front lawn.
no,
You did see those tire tracks.
I did.
No further questions.
I'm all set?
All right, Mr. Albert,
All
you're
right.
all set, sir.
Thank you.
Right. Valerie, your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth call Ms. Caitlin Albert to the stand.